Hello, hello, hello.
All right. So church today is going to be a boomer again. Well, the Lord, through this channel, He works through some of the people. Even my friend said he had a dream of the heavens, and it was nothing like they say it is. And why do you think Jesus said, I can't tell you the things of the earth. You won't understand it. So of the heavenlies, I can't tell you the truths of the heavens. People leave my channel for it. Okay, because they listen to these ones that teach that we're spinning around. Man, when you listen, Uriel, this book here too, The Course of the Illuminary Heavens, this book is true because an angel helped, and there's Bible scripture in to back this book up. The windows of heaven, the windows of heaven God uses, the portholes, right? And the sun goes through them on their tracks. I'm going to read this. It's nothing. Space is absolutely nothing what people think. Absolutely not even close. Okay. It's a shocker. Now I know why people leave my channel. Because they have itchy ears. The ones with itchy ears leave my channel. They curse at me. They do exactly what they did to Jesus. They think I'm a false teacher. That's exactly what they did to Jesus. Didn't they say to Jesus, you're not to be doing, why are you doing healing people on a Sabbath day? They were out to destroy Jesus. They're out to destroy me. This book, you guys are going to be blown away. Don't leave, man. Do you want to learn the truth about what's up above us? And the earth is not moving at all. Right now, it's wobbling. That's why it goes cold, hot, snow, cold, hot. God puts the snow on the earth. God makes the wind on the earth. God makes tornadoes, hurricanes, everything else. People have nothing to do with it, especially in this time. And maybe they do a little bit. Okay. But so many people don't understand the truths of Jesus. When Jesus said, let me get this out, the sun is Jesus and they live in him. And everything, all these stars that go inside the sun, those are chariots. Okay. So doesn't it say we live in him and him in us? So when you're made when you leave this body, you go into him. Okay. And the chariots come and collect people and bring them into him. Don't leave. This is going to be amazing. This book tells you the truths of Jesus. I can't tell you the truth of of the earth because you or the heavens. Okay. Because you don't understand what I'm telling you here on this earth. You're not going to understand the heavenlies. Okay. It, it, KJV, Jesus said, how can I tell you the things of the earth or of the heavens, and you not don't believe the things of the earth? I'm gonna put my glasses on, guys. This is gonna be a mind-blowing show. People leave my channel because they believe in false teachers. You got to watch. These false teachers are very tricky. I don't want to talk about them. This is not what this is about. They talk fables. Nibiru is a fable. Okay. Planet X is a fable. This book is partially Enoch and it tells you what's up in the heavens and that the earth isn't moving, that everything moves around the earth. So I need to find that verse. Uh, okay, so I found it. I do believe this is it. So call unto me. Here's a part of it. Uh, Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and I will show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. Okay? So when the fake church talks about Nibiru, Planet X, anybody, and the world is spinning, that's fake. That's false. And there's nobody out there teaching these things about this book, R.H. Charles' book. This is 100% accurate. It has Enoch through it and everything else. And Uriel told this to Enoch, and he wrote it. He wrote some of these books. And the fake church will misguide you and say, well, you don't go up against a church and cause strife against a church and this and that. But I'm doing this out of my heart because there's so many people listening to fake stuff. It's unreal. Even the best ones. And we're supposed to teach against them. And the Lord keeps giving me trouble and saying, no, I sent you here for partially correction. I wasn't ready to do it before because I wanted to destroy people teaching false doctrine. This is now not about destroying people. This is like what Jesus said. I can't tell you the things of the heaven because you don't believe the things of the earth. I need to find that one. Okay. Jesus said, how can I tell you the things of the heavens when you don't believe the things on the earth? KJV. How you doing, Cormac? You're right. You know what the sun is? It's Jesus Christ. Okay? And the moon, she. Who's she? She's the bride. And these comets that go in and out the sun, those are chariots going into him. Remember, Jesus says, you're in me and I'm in you. So when you pass away from this earth, from this body, you go into him. What is the sun that moves through portholes? Remember, Cormac, we were talking about this, brother. So here it is. And they won't listen to it, Cormac. They leave my channel. They cast me down. They say, you're a fake teacher. Isn't that what they did to Jesus? Yep. And you know what? I'm not scared of that. They want to leave the channel, then they know what they are of. Soon as they go unsubscribe, they're not of Jesus Christ. Anybody that unsubscribes from Jesus Christ, this isn't me. This is the word. Anybody that unsubscribes from that, they're turning their back on Jesus. They're making a decision because they believe in false fairy tales like Mike teaches from around the world. I don't care. I'm not here to gain popularity. I'm here for truth. What was Jesus here for? He wasn't here to gain popularity. He was come to save the lost. I'm not saying I'm Jesus, but remember what it says in the book. What you do to one of these little ones, you do to me. What you don't do, you don't do to me. Here it is. So if I John 3:12, if I have told you earthly things and you believe them not, how ye believe if I tell you heavenly things? This is the heavenly things. It was written by an angel called Uriel. He writ some of this book. So if God's angel's writing this book, a good angel, Uriel, a powerful angel, Uriel is writing this book, that's coming from the word of the Lord. Okay, they can't handle the truth. I lost 10 people in the last week because you're supposed to prophesy against false teachers. Now, listen, I've been listening to, I don't want to go on to Mike too much. I've been listening to him for 6, almost 7 years, and he says, don't do that. Don't do that. Why? Because he's misdirecting people. He doesn't want them to. go out and tell the truth about him. And him and Paul Begley, go listen to the last Thursday one. They're speaking of some sort of dragon behind the sun blowing cold onto the earth when it says that the cold goes through a window. Okay? So if their hearts are waxing cold, God's going to make it cold. That's just it. Physical, spiritual. When it talks about, like my friend was on yesterday, talks about the world, it means physical, spiritual. The people's spiritual inside and the world itself, physical, spiritual. Everything that's done here is done there. Everything that's loosed here is loosed there. I recompense your recompense on your head. Even Mike, he's been teaching against Planet X now. This is how I found out he's fake. Go listen to his last Thursday broadcast. Paul Begley says, "Is this the effects of Planet X?" He said, "Yes." These guys prove they're liars, man. But they try to cover it up for as long as they can. They eat. They're like a lion eating and preying on these new Christians. And it's sad. I'm not want to prey on him. I gave him a message last night and I said, "You need to repent, Mike. You're lying. You're telling fables. Go ahead and leave." But I've got the truth of that. God's given me, I'm partly correction. I'm brought here partially for to correct people. Because correction, judgment comes to the house of the Lord first. So people that are faking and eating people's money up, listen, man. 4 million people follow Mike and 2 million follow Paul Begley. Why is he selling? And I can't do the show. Even Paul Begley has admitted many times he's a false prophet. And these people just keep coming in. Here's money. Here's money. Here, ching, ching, ching. It's ridiculous. Now I don't want to go on that too much longer because it's annoying. Okay. I watch these children being swallowed up by these false teachers. Okay. Mike won't dare go into this book. Oh, he tries to misdirect you from him. Well, I would read the Bible more, and I probably wouldn't, put my full trust in these books. Why? Because they're going to misguide people from these books so they can keep stealing from them. I don't care if you people want to unsubscribe from me. I've listened to Mike for 6 years, and God said no. God shows me false doctrine people. God shows me false Christians to try to help them and correct them. When go and try and help someone that is teaching wrong, and watch what happens. They will kill you over their false doctrine. They will kill you. It's going to get real bad where they actually will kill you, not your spirit. God won't let them kill your spirit. But anyways, read this. And the first goes forth the great luminary, named the sun. And his circumference is like the circumference of heaven. And he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. He's an all consuming fire. That's in the Bible. Huh. People just don't know how to discern it because they don't know the Word of God. If you don't know the Word of God and you aren't of God, you're not going to discern this. You're going to turn your back on me and say, "Oh, he's a false teacher." Well, no, you're a false listener. You exit from this channel. My friend Mark, me and Cormac have talked about it too, had two dreams in the last week of me and him in the heavens. And he saw everything as it was in this book twice. So God works. He is the next guy on this channel. He's like the vice president of this channel, right? This is partially his channel. He's the one that helped us out. He's my best friend. I spend time with him. He lives in my same city. I helped bring him to God, and God gives him dreams, and he reveals them to me, and they're mind blowing. Okay. Look at, there's not many people in, eh, Cormac? You see that? They don't like the truth. Okay. And they don't believe a guy like me could give it. But it's simple. I study it. 4 or 5 hours a day, I study my books. Last night, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning studying this book, and it's mind blowing. And I believe every word in this book because an angel wrote part of it. And R.H. Charles is the version that you want of these books, okay? So right there. And he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. He's an all-consuming fire. And he consumes them with the brightness of his coming. That's in the Bible. This book is of the Bible. There's a lot about the portholes I'm not going to get into. God, I'm going to tell you how it works. I'm not going to read it because it's the porthole this and it goes in and out of this porthole and the cold comes in and out of the porthole. Those are the windows of heaven in the Bible. It's in the Bible, but people don't know how to see it in the Bible. Well, that's not the Bible. Like Cormac knows and I know, Bible means books. Bible isn't written in the Bible. Where are you going to find the word Bible in the Bible? You're not going to, because it's the word. So the Lord gives this little guy with this little channel that people are stabbing, and they're saying, "You're stabbing Mike." You know, Mike's had me trained not to go up against people, and I feel guilty and guilty and guilty and guilty about it because he's trained my mind. He's warped and twisted my mind not to do that because then it would expose them. You see, they have tricks, so they're not exposed. Why do you think they don't have their Bibles open? Because someone that has wisdom and understanding will know they're a false teacher. Do you know I know who the false teachers are and the false believers are? God shows me them. I tried to correct some and whack, whack, whack for 3 days. All I did was get from saying one thing. Please don't send false teachers to my wife. I got condemned. 3 days. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Insane. And you know what I said back? People don't understand how much I get attacked. Okay. And it's okay because I'm getting good with it because it's not me they're attacking. The Lord works through my channel. Keep attacking me. I had a dream of some guy on my other friend in the city. Cormac's had a dream of me. Mark's had dreams of me. That's how it works. We all dream of each other. That means we're becoming one with the Lord. People can't handle that stuff. Oh, you don't have any of the words. You know how much I study. Unreal. I love to study. When my wife goes bye bye, this is all I do. Okay, so let's keep going. Here it is. The chariots on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven, and returns through the north in order to reach. That's telling you the sun's moving, isn't it? Doesn't say once the earth is moving. Mike is a false teacher. He teaches that we're spinning around. That's that's not even plausible. That theory is not even plausible. Because how would we be shaken to and fro if we're spinning around? How would be the Bible says it's like we're kicked out of our spot. The earth is kicked out of its spot, KJV. That one's going to be hard to find. The earth is kicked out of its spot, the KJV. It talks about for thy dew and thy dew of herbs. The dew goes through, the rain goes through these portholes, the wind goes through these portals, the sun and the moon and all the ordinance that move. Not us, doesn't say once. Okay. Revelations 12:7-17. And there was war in the heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angel, and prevailed not. Neither was there a place found any more in heaven. Okay, that's not the one I'm looking for. That's what's going on right above our head right now. Hmm. Anyways, these people say they got to do spiritual warfare. You do that as it comes, as you need to. I can't find that one, but it's in the Bible. Okay, it's a tough one to find, and we're rolling to and fro like a drunkard. Well, if you're spinning thousands of miles an hour around the sun, how would that be possible? We'd be on a wobble anyways, a constant wobble. Okay, it'd be like we're kicked out of our spot that we've been into the heavens. The spot. We've been kicked out of our spot. We've been stable, and the Bible actually tells you that. And people change the word, man. They change the meaning of the word. Mike changed the meaning of the word on me on that one. The established part means the people will be established. When it talks about the stable of the earth, it means the earth is cannot be moved. It's clear. The earth is stable and cannot be moved, King James Version. People don't know how to read this, and the ones that do, that are teaching you false teaching, they know how to change it. So fear before First Chronicles 16:30. Fear before him all the earth, the world also shall be stable. So the world is the people on this word, and the earth. So we're becoming stable. The people that are going to own this earth are going to be stable when he comes back. You're going to be stable in Christ. You're going to be made part of Christ. And the earth is stable and cannot be moved. Like, how do you change that? When it talks about the world, that's the people in it, spiritual. My friend even said that yesterday, and I didn't agree, but I wasn't really thinking at the time, and I agree with him. Okay, it's simple. God keeps it pretty simple, by the way. Some things, okay? The earth is set and cannot be moved, man. God is serious business, like him seriously. He put the earth in a place and it's not moving. So let the heavens rejoice. First Chronicles 16:30. And it's not moving. Anybody listening to Mike from around the world is a false doctor in person. They're not hearing from Jesus Christ. Go and listen to the last Thursday, Paul Begley, when he said, Planet X is doing these causes. And Mike said, yes, they are. He said, yes. When he's been teaching against that, he's his name is a lie. Everything about Mike is a lie. And they're stealing money. Paul Begley said, we need Mike on our show. Without it, we can't continue. Why? Because he's a big topper. He makes lots of money. When he comes on, they pay. Here you go, Mike. False doctor. I can prove it all day long. I've been on his channel for 6 years. I erased it fully. I will never do another mixer on him. I'm doing mixers on the truth that Mike doesn't give. Okay? So right here, there's another person in here. You need to listen to this. So one more time, and then I'm going through this book, and it's not about, I can't keep repeating myself about false teachers. Okay. Let's get into this wonderful book that was written by an angel called Uriel. So, in the first, there goes forth the great luminary, named the sun, the great luminary. And his circumference is like the circumference of heaven. And he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. He's an all consuming fire. That's in the Bible. And he's filled with them. Aren't we in Jesus? So when you die, you live in him. So anything that's stars that are going inside and out, those are chariots. They're not stars, what they call stars. Anything thrown onto this earth has been thrown by God. Everything. We're talking whirlwinds. Mark here, my friend Mark, had dreams of the heavens, and I was there with them. My friend Cormac had a dream that I was stopping him from sinning. That's what we do. We work together. Do you understand why Jesus says, I can't tell you the things, how you doing, Kim, of the heavens, because they won't believe it. This is writ by an angel that took Enoch up. Enoch's dead. His flesh is dead. No flesh and blood enters into the kingdom of heaven. I've been people turn their backs on me for teaching this stuff. Mike's been teaching me, and I listened to Mike for 7 years, guys. Every single show he's ever did. And I can see the difference in it now. He's changing all the stuff, okay, for money. I know this. People leave my channel because I teach against them, but it's, you know why? Because they're trained to not teach against people. But that's not what the Bible says. Prophesy against false prophecy. Hundreds of times in the Bible. But you can't destroy them out of your heart. I don't want, how am I going to, there's no way I can destroy Mike from around the world. He has 4 million followers, but I need to get out there that this guy is phony baloney. And Paul Begley is the fakest false prophet. I've got so much dirt on both of them too, but I'm not here to shed the dirt of these people. I'm not here to condemn them. I'm here to try to help the people come out. I had 10 people leave my channel this last week because of this. So I'm going to move on. I'm doing this, right? Just showing you, man. I know who the fake ones are. Even the ones around me that say they're Christian, God shows me, no, they're not. They're doing everything that I told them not to do. They may have took the alcohol away from them and the booze and the drugs and all this other stuff, but they're the same person. I've seen it. I go to try to correct one of these people, and the false Christians, they're the wicked ones. Okay? They're out to kill the real Christian. The Pharisees and the Sadducees. Beware of the leaven in their bread, because it leavens the whole loaf. That's what happened. Mike made me feel guilty for, but how can you divide something for causing division? Don't cause division. That's not division. You're already divided. You're not believing in the things of the heavens. How can I tell you the things of the heavens when you don't believe the things on the earth? They're sucked in. They're eaten up like lions. These poor new Christians coming into God are not getting any of the truth because there's leaven in the bread. You want me to show you that? Everything I can back up. And people leave my channel. This guy's a false teacher. You just turned your back on Jesus, not me. On the word. I'm not Jesus. He gives me the word. He gives me dreams. He gives it to my friends. They tell me. Okay? So that's how the Lord works. And when he says a remnant, that is true. Okay? These false teachers are very good at what they do. They can sound like they're good, and I don't make any money. I make 4,000 a month. With 4 million followers, you're a liar. First of all, your name ain't Mike from around the world. You won't tell everybody, and you're hiding. What does Satan do? He hides. What are we supposed to do? You yell it from the rooftop. Am I hiding? Absolutely not. And I don't care if people unsubscribe from me. I really don't anymore. It's not about that. It's about getting the real people of God in this channel and getting them out of these fake teachers' channels on YouTube. I absolutely see. And Mike's going, oh, don't teach on YouTube. And guess where he goes once a week? That's hypocritical. He even has a channel called Twist. He's twisting, and he even did on his SoundCloud. That's all he did on there. Okay, sure, thanks. Yeah, and I'm glad you stopped me in that, right? I know this is interesting and we need to hear this, okay? So let me start over and then this is it, right? I'm not gonna, and you're correct. And that's what Mark says as well, too. Can't do too much on that. You got to get on to what your focus is. So in the first there goes forth the great luminary named the sun, and his circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and he is quite filled with the illuminary illuminating and the heating fire. Isn't he all consuming fire? And don't we go when we leave here, we go into him. That's in the Bible. Okay, it talks about that in the Bible. So the chariot which ascends on the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in the order to reach its east. The sun is moving, not the earth. And is so guided that he comes to the appropriate tilt, or appropriate that the porthole, and shines on the face of the heaven. And in this way he rises in the first of the month in the great portal, which is the fourth. Those six portals in the east, and those are the windows in heaven in the Bible, right? Okay. So in the fourth porthole, which from which the sun rises in the first month, are the 12 windows opening. The portholes are the 12 windows opening, from which proceed the flame when they are opened in their season. Well, so let me keep going. And when the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth. That fourth a porthole 30 mornings. He comes forth. Because don't we live in Jesus? If we leave this body, we're going to be in his kingdom, in him. Aren't doesn't it say he and us and him? Right? So that's in the Bible. This is written by an angel called Uriel, by the way. Okay, so let's keep going forward. I also have this, I'm doing it on my Mixler channel as well. I'm trying to finish my coffee here too because it gets cold quick. So in succession, and it sets accurately in the fourth porthole in the west of heaven. And during this period of the day becomes longer, and the nightly shorter, and the 13th morning. And on the day is longer than the night by ninth part. And the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from the fourth porthole. And what's moving here? Is the earth moving? No. And it sets forth and returns to the fifth porthole of the east 30 mornings. And it rises and it sets in a fifth porthole. And I just understood this yesterday. And then the day becomes longer by 2. And there's a cross on either side of the word 2. Let me see where it is. Right here. See the 2 crosses? That's the church. We are a resurrection, and the church and Jesus is. That's the 2 witnesses. It gives hints. Even hints on the 2 witnesses, man. There's a couple times where it says 2 with a cross on either side. There's 2 witnesses. Okay? It also tells you that through these books as well. Okay, but you have to kind of decode the witnesses. The sun is she. What are we? Aren't we the bridegroom or the bride? And it talks about she throughout the Bible. The sun, she, or he, because we live in he, and we're the she and he. Okay, When someone passes, chariots pick up groups of people and take them into the sun. And they say, well, that's a star diving into the sun. No, it's someone going home. Okay. Heaven and Jesus and God are the sun. That's where heaven comes. The light of heaven comes. It's like a fire, all consuming fire. Let's keep going. It gets into a lot of the portholes right here, okay? So the part in amounts to 11 parts, and the night becomes shorter, and the amounts 7 parts. And it returns to the east, and it enters into the sixth porthole, and it rises and it sets in the sixth porthole. And on the 30th morning account of the sign, on the day that becomes longer than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day becomes 12 parts, and the night of is shortened and becomes 6 parts. So, and the sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer. And the sun, remember, sun, returns to the east. The Bible says sun too. When Jesus is coming forward, the sun doesn't give her light, and neither do the stars. The stars are bowing too. Why are they doing that? Because they're all coming here, just like I've been teaching, because God has a controversy here, and He's going to bring it all here and deal with it so that everybody knows the truth. I've been teaching that before I even knew what it meant. Okay. So this goes a lot into the morning are accomplished and the day decreases, and one part becomes 11 parts, and the night, and the sun goes forth in the fifth porthole. Let's move on. That's all that. And here it goes again. And the morning sets in the west side again in the fifth western porthole. And on the day decreases by 2. Here's those crosses again. I'm going to circle it. The 2 witnesses. The Lord gives me a lot that I give Him thanks to it. It's all the glory to Him. Okay? So here's another part. Watch the green word there. See the crosses on either other side? The 2 crosses. Because we, like Jesus, died to the cross. And we're resurrected. We get a resurrected, glorified body. That's a trick. You have to learn it. You have to discern it and learn it. And Jesus will show His people the truth. Everything's coming to light, man. This needs to get out. But look at people don't listen, right? So, and then it talks about on the day it extinguished with the night, and it becomes equal length, and the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day the parts. So I got to get it. There's a lot more exciting stuff in here, but this page keeps going on. The sun coming through this portal, that portal, the third. There's 6 of them, right? The windows of heaven. The portals are the windows of heaven. It talks about windows of heaven in the Bible. People don't even know what windows of heaven in the Bible means. Scripture of the windows in heaven, KJV.
Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it.
So, the blessings He pours out on us when the sun has a blow off, that's an angel doing that, pouring out on the sun. Pouring what? No, He's pouring it out on us. He comes out of the sun, and when they go in and out, they cause a CME on purpose. Okay? The CME comes down and it looks beautiful, lights, northern sky. Yay! Look at that. That's so good for us. It is good for the Christian. But for the non Christian, it makes them darker. Why? Because the seed of Satan hates God. So a blessing poured out on us. How does He pour it out? A CME. People aren't teaching that. Everything God's doing to this earth, it's for us. So that's why would we pay attention to the blowing up over here and the blowing up over here and an earthquake and Putin this? That is garbage. We need to come to the truths of God. We need to get enlightened. These books enlighten you. They bring more truth to you, bring you closer to heaven. People say, well, those books have nothing to do. Bible means books. Okay. And the more enlightened you get, when you bring these eyes light as these eyes light, you're done your job. You go home. So what that means that when they say these books will enlighten you, they will give you, these books are part of your salvation because they're truth. Isn't Jesus truth? Part of the finding out the truth is coming closer to home. This helps you get closer to home. I have them all. I teach them on my mixer. So you guys need to get my mixer. I was on there until 2 o'clock in the morning, man. I study and I read. I study, I read. I pray. I pray for you guys. I study, I read. I study, I read. I teach. That's what I do. This is what I was sent here to do. Okay, so let's keep going forward. Like you were saying, I don't want to spend too much time on it. So it talks about even one day being shortened a year. The regular calendar has 364. How come we have 365? That's to put us ahead to say, well, Jesus can't come. Hasn't been enough time yet. You want to bet? They put the time forward to trick us, right? Satan devised that one a long time ago. We're actually uh, living ahead of times, so that we will miss his coming. Okay, but we won't miss his coming. If you're of God, you're not. There's very few people out there. Okay, I'm telling you, very few. The remnant is small. The whole world lies in the hands of the wicked one. When I hear that, oh, I see it. Okay, I didn't only hear it, I see it with this eye and these eyes. It's false. They're running to and fro from church to church. They're seeking spiritual filling and they're not getting it. If you're listening to a false teacher, you're not getting it. So let's move on. So, and I want to go through this. And the porthole sets, and the fifth porthole on the west rises from the fourth porthole. So we're getting into these portholes. There's much more. I want to get out of the portholes here and into, because we know that there's many portholes. There's 6 on the right and six on the east and 6 on the west. Notice how it says, but they're coming from the west. And the portholes we know are the windows. Okay, I'm moving into here. It's all portholes right now I'm at. I can only read so much of it, right? So this is a lot of portholes, eh? So I'm trying to get past that. So, okay, we'll start here. And the sun rises on that day from the second porthole, and sets in the west the second porthole, and returns to the east into the first porthole for 1:30 mornings. Okay. So, how come there's 31 days and some? There's only supposed to be the even amount of 30. But it talks about that. They changed the dates and the times and the seasons in the Bible. Tells you that. Why? To trick you. This calendar they're using is called the Gregorian calendar. I know a guy named that. Anyways, he's horrible. I tried to help him. He's not horrible, but his demons have him so blind that he won't even believe anything anybody says. It's what he says. If it doesn't fit with these people, they're gonna destroy you. Okay, that I had it happen to me lots of times. Okay, so let's keep going. And the sun has therewith tra- traversed the division of his orbit. What's that telling you? Of his orbit. They're moving, not the earth. Okay? And I care less if people disconnect from my channel. And he turns again on those divisions of his orbit. Of his orbit. The sun's called he, the moon's called she, the two witnesses. That's why all we come back. When we're pulled off this earth to up in the clouds, that's when they're given gifts to the two witnesses lie dead in the streets. People don't know how to preach that. What the two witnesses are is we'll be removed and God will be sitting up there, Jesus, in the clouds, and they'll think that we're removed. They'll go, yay, and they'll give evil gifts. Porno stuff, drugs and alcohol. They'll be dancing in the streets, going, yay, we prevailed over God. And he's going to give them 3 days. They'll lie dead in the street for 3 days. And then all of his saints are going to come back with them, not just one. I hate when people say 10,000 because it says 10,000 thousands. They don't know how to preach that. Every one of God, Jesus' saints will come back. So pray that you're worthy. That's when we escape. That's when we'll fully be, all of the Christian will be removed. But they're not going to be removed. We're going to be in the clouds. Okay? Doesn't the moon look like it's in the clouds? Sometimes the sun looks like it's in the clouds, guys. Because the sun's going to come forward. And he will not give his light. He's going to cloak himself. Okay? Here it goes again. And on the night decreased in length by a ninth part. And the night has become 11 parts. So it talks a lot about the night and the parts and the days and the hours, that kind of, some days have more longer hours of night, longer hours in the day. We don't need to hear about that. It's easy. I can just tell you in a quick way. And the day and the night decreases amounts to 9 parts. Okay? So I'm just finding the important stuff because I've told you about all that. Arise through the course of the sun, these distinctions are made. Through the course of the sun? Does it once talk about the earth moving? No, it doesn't. And neither does the Bible. It's circular in circumference because we have a dome over it. And if you look from it from the outside, you can never see a bottom. Space may be a final frontier, but where is it made? In a Hollywood basement. Okay? They even tell you. It's stupid. People saying it's not round and it's not flat. It's oval. It's disc shaped. Okay? You can only go to the edge of it. You can't because it's a wall of ice around us. You ever see the world things where they get together and there's a world behind it and there's two leaves and they go from the top to the bottom, joining each other at the bottom? That also means the two witnesses, by the way. They tell you. Satan has to tell everything before he does it. He has to tell the children of God too. Because that's the deal he was made, or else God wouldn't have had him on this earth. God works with Satan. People don't even know that. Because Satan cannot move an inch without God. Oh, ye of little faith. Put your faith that you could be delivered by man. You're not going to get delivered. Put your faith that Jesus will deliver you. You will. I've been going through wicked deliverance, and all I've been doing is teaching and reading and praying. I don't go to man to deliver me. Okay? That's a false teaching. Okay? Remember, it says they'll say they delivered devils. Well, I delivered devils, and no, you didn't. Even Noah couldn't do it. If you're vexed, and we're all vexed because the Bible says we're all vexed, our flesh is vexed. Yes, it is. It's a beast. It's a man and beast. It's vexed. You cannot fully be delivered unless Jesus did it. And if it's the timing, Jesus ain't going to deliver you. All you're going to do is stir the demons up in you. If you're not ready, you're just going to stir them up, put yourself through more trouble. Okay, let's keep going. They are separated. So it comes that its courses become daily longer, and its courses nightly shorter. And this is the law of the courses of the sun, and his return, as often as he returns, 6 times in the sun raises. That means he's returning over through the 6 portals, not his full return. So the luminaries, okay, so as often as he returns, 60 times and rises the great luminaries, which is named the sun, forever and ever. Doesn't he live eternity? The sun never can die. They tell you that the sun could be extinguished. You can't extinguish an everlasting light. What is Jesus? Forever and ever. That's in the Bible, guys. And that which thus rises in the great luminary, and is so named according to the appearance and according to as the Lord commanded. This is very interesting. As he rises, so he sets and decreases not. I decrease. Paul says, I decrease for you. The Lord doesn't have to decrease. He's the Word, the living Word. Doesn't decrease. We do, so that you can increase. That's in the Bible. So not, and rests not. Does he ever rest? Does Jesus ever rest? He's not resting until you come home. Never rests. He sets and decreases not, and rests not. So if Jesus ain't resting not, we don't have our rest, do we really? We're laboring. Rest doesn't come till you go to heaven. That's an absolute lie. That's what the false teachers will tell you. Come in and I'll give you he who are heavy laden, I'll give you rest. You won't get rest until you go to heaven. I'll tell you that through the Bible many times and all these books. I study deep. Okay, guys? And I give it out. And we get dreams. Mark Kovacs had dreams of the heavens. And they're nothing like people lie about. Fables about the heavens. Planet X is a fable. These teachers are agreeing to it when they disagreed to it before. I have proof. And I get cast under. I've sent that proof to Mike and Paul. And they've never shown it. You know why? Because they want people to believe in their fables to pay money. And I'm just saying, I'm moving on here, right? So Bunt runs day and night, and his light is sevenfold brighter than the light of the moon, but as regarded size, they are both equal. His light, what are you talking about? This is in the Bible, the greater light. So, and night, and his light is sevenfold brighter. His light is brighter, and we're the lesser light of the night. People don't get that. The two witnesses, Enoch, Elijah. You're a false teacher, or you're ignorant to it. Not everyone is, right? So I'm not here to destroy them. I actually messaged Mike from around the world, and I told him he needs to repent. I never thought there'd be a day that I'd do that, really, to tell you the truth. And I was nice about it. I said, I love you, guy, but I could prove I've got all the proofs. I've got much dirt on you, and I don't even want to talk about the dirt on you. Okay, so let's keep going forward. So then the moon, but it regards size that they are both equal. The sun and the moon are the same size. They're not as far as they tell you they are away. The moon is going to come into the clouds. I've seen it in the clouds. I've seen the moon take up the whole sky. It came so close it took up the whole sky. God's gonna cloak us at that time, and they're gonna think that we're dead, and they're gonna go, yay, and the streets are gonna give gifts of porno magazines and sex and drugs and rock and roll. They're gonna think that they defeated God. No more God here. No more those people. They can't judge us anymore, right? They've been removed. Yay, let's go and be lewd and rude. Okay? So let's keep going on. So the moon and its phases. After this law, I saw another law dealing with the smaller luminary. What are we? We're a smaller light to light the whole world. You're put here not to hide your candlestick under a bed or a bushel. It's in the Bible. Am I wrong? Does it say that in the Bible? Don't hide your candle under your bed or a bushel. You're a light made to shine in the darkness. The smaller light, the lesser light that lights the night. Don't we light what's night? Evil. We're the lesser light that lights the evil, not the night. People got that wrong. Just like the sun. It lights the whole world, man. S-U-N is Jesus Christ. I always thought that. Always thought that. Never had proof until now. So, which is named the moon. And her circumference is like the circumference of heaven. And her circumference, you got to figure it out by yourself there? I think you should. She is the lesser light. What are we? Here you go. You could go against me all you want. But people that are of God will see this. And I have them in my room. Me and Cormac talk on the phone. He believes in this stuff too. Look at what he says up there, and people will leave you for this. Do you think I care? Then that I know what you are of, and you know what you are of when you unsubscribe from a true channel. Why does Jesus come through the small people, the weak, the babes, the foolish, the donkey? He came in on a donkey and they missed him. He's coming in on a donkey again, and they're beating that donkey. You guys, I get beat over and over and over from these people on my channel for 2 years, and from the people around me for teaching what I teach. I've been kicked out of like 5 churches. Exactly. This is the truth. But they remember when Jesus said, how can I tell you the things of heaven when you don't believe the things on the earth? That's in the Bible that they're going to do that. Didn't they reject Jesus for the truth? Hold on a sec, guys. I got to get up. My back is really bad. So if you're rejecting the truth, what are you rejecting? Not rejecting me. No, you're rejecting the light. You're rejecting Jesus Christ. When they unsubscribe from my channel now, I used to get upset. I don't care anymore. God's brought me to the point. I don't care who stays in here and who goes. I do care who stays in. Okay? I care about you people. I'm just not a respecter. If you leave the channel, you haven't left me. You turn your back on the truth. You turn your back on the truth. You've left and forsake Jesus for a false teacher. Okay. And that's all I'm saying. I don't, hey, come here. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. But these people suck people for money. I don't ask for a cent. So, okay. And the days are like the days of the sun. And when her light is uniform, it's talking about the moon, is uniform, it amounts to the 7 part of the light of the sun. Remember, the sun is 7 times stronger. It's the greater light that lights the whole world. Says that straight in the Bible. And they'll go, oh, it lights the whole world. It means spiritual and physical. Okay? The world is the spiritual and the physical. It's the people. The beast rises out of the sea. What's the sea? The people, the groups of people, the evil that they do. That's how come Satan rises, because they're allowing him to. The darker it gets, the closer he comes to rising. He's already here, man. People just don't know this stuff. And they say, oh, Jared Kushner. No, he's not. He's married. Okay, we all know that he will not have care for a woman. He will not need sex. He won't want sex. He's not here to do that. He's here to destroy the Christians. And you're going to become a martyr. That's all I got to say about that. God showed me that dream. I will be in the clouds. I've been shown that. But I still got to fight for my salvation, because I haven't fully been saved until you're sitting at the table and you're eating and drinking with all the people of war, all the chariots, all the horses, and God and Jesus, the wedding supper of the Lamb. It's so easy to see. The Bible is simplicity when you study it. And these books fit right in the Bible very nicely. The books. Bible means the books. So, and thus she rises, and her first phase is in the east, comes from the fourth on the 13th. Her. The moon is nothing but her. That's 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 the Jesus is the sun, and the moon is paradise. Okay. And that's why they're always lying about the moon. Oh, they landed on the moon. You can't land on paradise. They can go up there, but what it says is when God says they try to steal heaven, he casts them back down. We could go up on the firmament and build on the firmament. That's what we do, space station. But even that is being troubled. Okay? And the satellites that sit there, they're being troubled. You can't send a little Hubble deep into space. It's a piece of tin can. It's not going to survive out there. God's not going to allow it. Oh, yeah. He's been working on this stuff for years. Anyone talking what space and Nibiru and NASA, they don't believe in Jesus. They're against him. I don't need to do it any more than that, like she said. I'm here to help correction, but I'm also here to teach, not just keep correcting, staying going around in circles. So the first phase is the east comes forth on the 13th morning. And on the day she becomes visible, and the constitutes for you the first phase of the moon, and on the 13th day with the sun in the porthole where the sun rises, and the one half of her goes forth by the seventh part, and her whole circumference is empty without light, with all the expectation of 1/7 part, and the 14th part of her light. Those are moon phases are for the times. They're for seasons and times and days. Okay? For the equinoxes and stuff like that, and the summer solstice and stuff. The moon never stays a full course, the same course all the time. I've noticed that by watching it. I've seen it become the size of a giant planet. Looks. I was driving to work one morning and the moon filled the whole entire sky. Yeah, it was wild. I wish I would have had my camera, but I was driving in the winter. I wouldn't even have wanted to take a picture of it that day. It was very icy, okay? So, and when she receives 1/7 part of the half of her light amounts to 1/7 part, and the half thereof, and she sets with the sun. And when the sun rises, the moon rises with him, and receives one half of the part of light, in the light that night, in the beginning of her morning, in the commencement of the lunar day. The moon set with the sun, and the invisible that night with the 14th part and the half one of them. And she rises on the day that exactly of the seventh part, and comes forth and reduces from rising of the sun, and in her remaining days she becomes bright in the remaining 13th part. The lunar year. So, and I saw another course in the law of her, how according to the law she performs her monthly revolution. And all these, Uriel, the holy angel, who is the leader of them all, showed to me, and their positions, and I wrote down their positions. And as he showed them to me, I wrote down their months as they were, and the appearance of their lights, till 15 days were accomplished. In single, okay, an angel. Now, it's going to get into talking about what controls all this. We already know. She accomplishes her light in the east, and a single 7 parts of her accomplish all her darkness in the west. And there's certain months she alters her settings. She alters her settings. And because we're all one. If we're in paradise, we're one. We're one minded. We're like minded. We're the same as Jesus and God. But we just don't know yet because we're in this flesh. We're the same as them. We just don't know yet because we haven't passed. This flesh hasn't died. Pursues her own peculiar course. So she has a peculiar course. Does it say at all that the earth is moving in its courses? And people are fake teachers. It's just so sorry. I don't like you say. In the 2 months, the moon sets with the sun in those two middle portholes, the third and the fourth. She goes forth for the 7 days and turns about and returns again through the porthole where the sun rises and accomplishes all her light. And she recedes from the sun, and in the 8th day enters into the 6th porthole from which the sun goes forth. And when the sun goes forth from the porthole, she goes forth 7 days until she goes forth from the 5th and turns back again in the 7th day. So into the 4th porthole and accomplishes all her light. And she recedes and enters into the 1st porthole on the 8th day. So they took a day out. What the heck? There's supposed to be 8 days, the 8th day of creation. And she returns again the 7th day, and the 4th porthole from which the sun goes forth. And thus I saw their positions, how the moon rose and the sun set in those days, and the in for and it 5 years are added together. The sun has an over plus a 30 days, and all the days which acquire to it for one of those 5 years when they are full and amount to 364 days. How come we have 365? We're only supposed to have 364. So you think for 10,000 years they've been adding a day on. That's a lot of days over that much time. So Satan set it up from the beginning so that we would miss his coming, right? That's partially why they missed his first coming. That'll be mostly why they missed the second coming. Plus, they were never meant to be. The whole world lies in the hand of the wicked one. They turn into beasts. They're a part of the beast, okay? So, the beast system in us, if you become that beast and not made a new creature, you're a part of the beast. The number of the beast is the number of a man. It's easy. The number of the beast, they have not taught that right. You can leave my channel thinking I'm teaching you it wrong, but I've done enough study to say I don't need to stick up for the word. The word says it. It's simplicity. And people, that number of the beast, I never ever understood that for years and years and years. I used to listen to Iron Maiden. They sing a song called Number of the Beast. Whoa. And it even says the devil comes wroth because he knows, but he has a short time. Let him who have understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. They don't understand that. They're what making that beast rise because they're a part of it. And the beast is coming to get their own. Satan, I recompense your recompense on your head, God said. The destroyers that are coming for people, they made their own destroyer because that's what they were. They became their tree. You grow from a seed to a tree. So the evil tree that Eve slept with wasn't a tree at all. Mike teaches the apple that was eaten from that tree. Get out of here. That's false teaching. I can prove that to you all day and all night. I have the book of Adam and Eve, and the Bible says it too. Born of the wicked one, beguiled, slept with. The tree, don't touch that tree. It's not talking a literal tree. People leave my channel for this, and I don't care. I really don't care. If you leave your channel for this, you're an itchy ear person, and you're leaving against Jesus. Not me, because this is his channel. This church is not my church. I am not God, and I never claim to be, or Jesus. So we're heading into, and the overplus of the sun and the stars amount to 6 days. In the 5 years and 6 days, every year come to 30 days. And the moon falls behind the sun, and the stars to the numerous of the 30 days. And the sun and the stars bring all their years exactly so that they do not advance or delay their positions by a single day entirely, but complete the year with perfect justice in 364 days. In 3 years, they are 12. Okay, so we're going to get into the days. They are the days. In 5 years, 1,820 days. In 8 years, 12 days. For the moon alone, in the days and night, 3 years. This stuff is irrelevant. So I keep moving on. Ha ha ha. Okay. And the year is accurately completed in the conformity with their world stations. And the stations of the sun which rise from the portals through it. The sun rises and sets 30 days. And the leader in the heads of the thousands are placed over the whole creation. It was placed over the whole creation. Who's controlling them? You cannot stop a fireball from God. You cannot eject it out of the sky. It'll move around. Why? Because they're angels. You can't shoot down an angel. And their bunkers will not save them. There'll be nothing left unturned this time because God's making a new world. He doesn't want any of this stuff to come back up this time. He will destroy every brick. He's done it before, and he left some behind to show us. These books are found. They're of God. I don't care who you are. Unless you're a dummy. Now, listen. People have the spirit of dumb, okay? I'm not talking the people. I'm talking the dummies in the people that are making them dumb. Okay? I don't like talking against people. They need help. They absolutely don't believe this stuff. And they run to and fro from churches. When someone's going from church to church to church to church, They're seeking the truth and they're never finding it. Doesn't it say in the Bible that they will never come to the full truth? They're not meant to. They're seeking to fill their spirits in the wrong places. That's the problem. Because a guy like me, well, we just got to throw him under the bus. He's a yo yo. That's how it is. They will take me because they have 4 million followers. I only have 600 and it's going less and less and less and less. And good. If you want to leave, I can't help you. Okay. I've gone to all I could do. So, when the leaders of the heads of the thousands were placed over the whole creation and over all the stars, have also to do with the four in, intercalary days and being inseparable from their office. From their office, just like it's like a well-oiled machine up there too, and it's moving and its parts are moving. Who is that moving it? God. So according to the reckoning of the year, and these render service on the 4 days, which are not reckoned in the reckoning of the year. And owing to them, men go wrong therein. For those luminaries truly render service on the world's stations. They're angels. They're serving us. The people of God, the good angels are serving us, and the bad angels are serving them. You see? There's two seeds on this earth. There's the good and the bad. If you're finding Jesus, that angel's working through you. It's helping hollow you out. It's giving you the truth. It's guiding you. What are you being guided by? Jesus, because Jesus guides all them. Okay? God does other things too. He answers prayers. He's omnipresent. He's omnipotent. Omnipresent everywhere at one time. Omnipotent can do whatever he wants, can do anything. Okay? So one in the first porthole, one in the third porthole of the heaven, and in the fourth porthole, and one in the sixth porthole. And its exactness of the year is accomplished through its separate. It's going to be a long one. Okay? It's going to be a long one. Hey, we're doing pretty good for time. Let me take a little second here. So, were you guys understanding this? Let's get some answers. Are you guys understanding this? That nothing up above your head is what they say it are. And if you're a false teacher, you're teaching against it. I'm just taking a sec here. I'm going to grab that book. My eyes get going. I need to have a sip of coffee. And people always ask, what does that have to do with your salvation? It has to do with enlightening you, bringing you to more truths. Like, what is Jesus? He's the way, the truth, and the life, right? So, by getting more truths, you're getting closer to God. You're understanding everything. You're understanding more how it works. You're understanding what these false prophets are doing. You guys have enough tools to know a false prophet now on your own, right? And just like my friend here said, we're on a different teaching. We know you've given us this, and yes, don't run around in circles, right? So I'm trying not to, okay, guys? I'm trying not to. Okay, you guys are put here for correction as well. So now that you're becoming more light, you can't avoid it. Huh. The much knowledge, much required. That's what God says in the Bible. Okay, so the more knowledge you have, the more you have to get out, and you don't have to care about what they can do to you. Fear what God can do to you. I don't care. If they turn their back on me, then that's I gave them a chance, like God does. I gave some of them many chances. And man, try to go against a false Christian, man, and say one thing, one of their false teaching, you're in trouble. You're going to face a day of them attacking you. Okay. I know this. I've been through it many times. But who cares, right? Jesus said they're going to do that. Okay, so let's get back. I have to get up every once. I'll have a sip and keep moving. I sit for hours. I've been sit last night. I make mixlers too, right? So you understand this, Kim. You don't go up against me. I don't go up against you. The people that are going up against the real Christians are causing diversion. If you're going up against a false church, are you causing division? No, you're not. How can you divide something that means divide? How can you divide something that's already divided from God? Doesn't even make sense. Oh, yeah, your makeup. So back to this, right? Because you take these little breaks because it's a long one. 364 stations for the signs and the times and the years and the days. The angel Uriel, he sets those things in place for seasons, dates. That's it. That's in the Bible. Signs, sun and the moon for signs. The biggest sign in 2017 was Virgo standing over the moon with her foot and the 12 stars above. Who's the 12 stars? Leo the lion. Who's the lion? The lion, the tribe of Judah. And inside of her belly was the destroyer that comes out to judge the church first. Judgment comes to the house of the Lord first. I got pictures of her up in the sky in the war now, showing her face as the destroyer, not Planet X, not Wormwood. Wormwood is an easy teaching, but they say it's going to hit the earth when it's already here. Back at early in the Bible, people get wormwood because their waters are bitter. Where they're learning of the world, they're being taught of these false doctrines. So their water's bitter, they become bitter too. They're not growing. They're hewing themselves down with listening to false doctrine. They're agreeing with the devil. False doctrine. Pharisees and Sadducees. Okay, so in the times and the years and the days, the angel Uriel showed me whom the Lord of glory has set forever over all the luminaries of heaven. The Lord of glory set over all the luminaries, including the dark ones, 1,000 points of light. Obama, Bush, they all say that, man. You can't see. He comes as the light bearer. When you have a visitation from an angel, you're not going to see nothing. This is going to see it, though. Telling you right now. He doesn't show his face to anyone. That's a fake teacher. Only to certain righteous people. So very little does he reveal his face, because if you've seen him, you've seen the Father. So I don't believe people that say Satan or Cain isn't born of Satan. Read it in your Bible. Yes, it is. Only one child was born through the Spirit. The rest had to fornicate with woman or man and woman. Procreate. Procreation. You will become as gods. This flesh is not God's seed. This is. It's so easy to see. Simplicity. So, forever and ever over all the luminaries of heaven, in heaven and in the world, that they should rule on the face of the heaven. What? They're ruling from heaven. Yeah, by removing these books, it's been manipulated. But the KJV is not. They only changed words. They didn't change meaning. They changed letters, eh? Because they spoke a little bit differently back then. I can tell you right now, this KJV lines up with these books. There's only one Hebrew book that I believe that's the original. You see the new ones that they're making? The New Testament isn't called the New Testament in it. It's a lie because they don't believe in Jesus. The KJV is full real, not changed. It's the most powerful book on this earth. It's been translated to every language. It's the most selling book that's ever sold. Okay? Yeah, some, I'm telling you right now, most can't handle the truth. I have seen that. So, and the luminaries of the heaven and in the world that they should rule on the face of the heaven. Everything rules from heaven. We do a choice for Satan, in comes the dark angel to work with you. Okay? Well, it's not me you're agreeing with; it's the books. I've read now the Bible. God showed me because I read it before I teach it, and I listen to it before I read it. Okay. So each time I read the Bible, it's 3 times. Okay. Because I teach it and I listen to it as I go to sleep. God teaches me in my sleep when I play the Bible. It's absolutely crazy. Done it many, many, many times with me. I love having a snooze and putting on my Bible. Not every time does he do it, okay? Because I want the word. I'm coming out of the world. I hate the world. Them who love the world have enmity with God, evil separation. Them who work from their carnal mind have enmity with God, evil separation. That's why we cast down our thoughts and our imaginations. Get it? Your thoughts turn into imagination. The dark angel comes among you and tests you. And God sends the dark angel sometimes, okay? To try to help you, right? And to be seen on the earth, it be leaders for the day and the night. So what are we? Leaders. All of you guys are. You're all pastors. You're all teachers. If you're of God, you're a pastor and you're a teacher and you're a prophetess. You're a prophet. Okay? So I'm going to go over this again. Heaven and be seen on the earth and be leaders for the day and for the night. What's the day? Light, good. What's the night? Dark. But what do you do? This little light is mine. It's going to shine in the day and in the night. We're children of the day. It can be at night. You can be a children of the day by teaching. Last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, I was being a children of the day, and it was nighttime because I was teaching on my Mixler. So you're gonna, yeah, okay. I'm gonna pause for that second for you two. Everybody take a bathroom break. I'm gonna circle this. This gets really interesting now, eh? Okay, so I'm gonna go grab my grape juice. I'm gonna go grab juice to drink. I get thirsty, so everybody take a bathroom break. Okay, so there was the break. Let's get back to business. Yeah. Does anybody know what it's like? I know Cormac does. I'm just gonna, and then I'm flying right back to this. To live with someone that prosecutes you over and over and over and over. Happens to me. Anyways, it's all good. That's gonna happen, right? It's okay. So here's where we were. The sun and the moon and the stars and all the ministering creatures. The sun and the moon and the stars and all the ministering creatures. What are we? We're being made a new creature. A ministering creature. You are a ministering creature too, not just me. We're all getting enlightened together because we're brothers and sisters. We understand what Jesus is telling us. The people that leave the room, they can go ahead. I don't care about that, right? That's not everybody's going to catch on to this, right? So, okay, so the moon and the stars and all the ministering creatures. Well, what's the moon? It's got all the ministering creatures on it. So does the stars. They're ministering creatures. God uses them with us. So angels get used with us. I pour out my spirit on all flesh. It's not just the comforting spirit, okay? It's the spirit of revelation. It's the spirit of strength. It's the spirit of fear, God. It's the comforter, which is like a mothering, nurturing spirit, and she's called the she. He's just revealing to it the she part. What is she? She's all the angels. That some of the people, some of the apostles. Why do you think Peter said, "I am"? Oh, I forget the name of the planet. Venus. Venus is named, that's the wrong name for it. The stars are named incorrectly, including the sun and the moon. So, which make their revolution in all the chariots of heaven. So, what is a comet? Is it a piece of rock flying in space? Nothing. God does nothing in vain. Nothing up there is in vain, and nothing down here is in vain. Everything we go through here is made to happen. It's predestination. So, in like manner, 12 doors, Uriel showed me, open the circumference of the sun's chariot in heaven. It opened up the sun's chariot in heaven. When things go in and out of the sun, it's not a star diving and dying into the sun. It's a chariot coming in and out. Through which the rays of the sun break forth, and they form them is warmth diffused over the earth. And they are opened at their appointed seasons. And the four winds of the spirit of the dew. The spirit of the dew. Everything, winds, tornadoes, come through windows. And it's a spirit that does that for God. Who's in control of it all? God. They're predestinated to do what they do at the times and the seasons that they do it. So when they are open, standing open in the heavens at the ends. As for the 12 portholes in heavens at the end of the earth, out of which go forth the sun, moon, and stars, and all the works of heaven in the east and in the west. There are many windows open to the left and to the right of them, and one window at its appointed season produced warmth, corresponding as these do to those doors which the stars come forth according to his commanded, to he has commanded them. He commands everything up there, even the dark ones. I got a picture of God, and there's a dark angel way over here on the side and another one way over here on the side. He's bringing them forth and putting them here to the dark. That's right. That's why they turn to light. See, if God was to send you an angel and he was to bear himself to you, you would get on your hands and knees and bow because you've never seen anything like it. So when he sends one of his angels to you and you have a visitation, you know how many times it talks about you will be visited, you will have a visitation, you will have a visitation. It's not from a light being. Anybody claiming, I got saved in the back alley from a light angel and it was bright and he had a sword and all this other, that was Satan. And he was beguiled. Okay. I know someone that was teaching on Facebook. He got booted off. God took him off. When I teach wrong, I get a strike on me. I'm teaching out of the book. You can't strike me. This is the Bible. So he has commanded them, and wherein they set their corresponding to their number. And I saw the chariots in heaven running in the world. They're here helping us. You have an angel. I see a band of angels coming after me. Coming for to carry me home. I had that dream. Above those portals in which resolve the stars that never set. And one is larger than all the rest, and it is that makes its course through the entire world. The sun. Doesn't it light the whole world? Jesus Christ, the S-U-N, the S-O-N is the same thing. Okay? He lights the whole world. Without him, we would all be dead. We would have no sun. We wouldn't have our nurturing sun, spiritually nurturing sun, and physically nurturing sun, as in heaven, as on earth. Mhm. What you bind here, you bind in heaven. Who binds them? Your angels. What you release here, you release in heaven. I recompense your recompense on your head. You reap what you sow. So the 12 winds and their portholes. Well, the winds are they're coming from heaven. Water, winds, rain, dew, snow, cold, heat, tornadoes, everything. Mark went up to heaven. He saw God making tornadoes with his finger. He's so big when he goes like this around the world. Can you imagine? The world is the size of is smaller than his foot. The footstool. Matching up with the Bible. All this stuff matches up with the Bible. If you tell me this book isn't of the Bible, then you're not hearing the words of God and Jesus, not me. Okay, so in the ends of the earth I saw 12 portholes open in all the quarters of the heavens, from which the winds go forth to blow over the earth. 3 of them are open on the face, the east of the heaven, and the 3 in the west. Remember, come from the east, come from the west. When he changes ordinance and he comes from the east, uh-oh. Hmm. Sorry, but he comes from the west. We're in trouble. He's coming from the east now. So of the heavens, and these 3 west on the 3 in the right of the heaven there, and 3 on the left. And the 3 first are those of the east, and 3 are the 4 right here, the 4 winds. Okay. The three are the of the north, and there's a cross by that. That's weird. And three after those on the left, on the south, and three on the west. Throughout four of these come winds of blessings and prosperity. Four. One is a little bit different than the other three. It changes it probably. The other three come to what was, and the one opens the window up, opens that window for them to come through, which way they're blowing. Wow. Through four of these come winds of blessing, prosperity, and from, you're going to understand, that's for the us. There's a cross there, okay, showing God's people. Those eight come hurtful winds, and when they are sent, they bring destruction on the earth, tornadoes and hurricanes. They're not created by man. You see that? God won't allow it, especially in this time. That's how he wakes people up. That's mocking God when someone says, "Oh, these are created from them seeding clouds, from harp." Garbage. And on the water and upon it, and all who dwell thereon, and on everything which is in the water, and on the land. Okay, and the first wind from these portholes called the east wind comes forth through the first porthole, which is on the east in the inclining towards the south. From it comes forth desolation, drought, heat, and destruction. See, even the winds are caused by God, not harp. They may claim to do that, to fool you, to lie to you, once again. And through the second porthole in the middle comes what is fitting, and to form it there comes rain, and fruitfulness, and prosperity, and dew. And through the third porthole, which lies towards the north, come cold and drought. Cold is sent on the earth by God, not by a dragon sitting behind the sun. That's falsery. Okay? I heard this one teach that on Thursday night. I had to leave. It was so against God. God puts the cold on the earth. God does this. Nothing comes, but it comes through heaven. Cold and drought. And after these came the four from the south winds through their portholes. Through the first porthole of them, inclining to the east, comes from a hot wind. And through the middle porthole next to it come forth fragrant smells, and dew, and rain, and prosperity, and health. Healing. For who? God's people. The ones that aren't God's people are going to get the dark ones coming through these portholes for destruction, the dark winds. And through the third porthole lying to the west come forth dew and rain, locusts and desolation. Nothing comes, but it comes through heaven. And after these, the north winds from the seventh porthole in the east come dew and rain, locusts and desolation. And from the middle porthole come in direct direction health and rain and dew and prosperity. And through the third porthole in the west, cloud, uh, a hoar frost, and snow, and rain, and dew, and locusts. Nothing comes but it comes through the heavens. That one stands out, doesn't it? Really understandable. When someone says they're destroying the earth well, they're doing certain things. Yes, they're drawing out the oil, they're cracking up the earth, fracking, cracking. You know what I mean? They're doing all that stuff, drawing the oil out of the earth. God says, don't touch my oil. He means oil in here, and he means oil on the earth, because those oils are there for a reason. Okay. I don't know exactly all the reasons to everything. So, and after these, four the west winds through the first porthole adjoining the north come forth dew, and hoar frost, and cold, and snow, and frost, and from the middle porthole come dew, and rain, and prosperity, and blessings. And through the last porthole, which adjoins to the south, come forth drought, and desolation, and burning, and destruction for the evil. And for us to wake us up. Well, no Harper's doing that. Be quiet. I heard someone say that they're going to cause tribulations. No, God won't allow nobody to do tribulations. Tribulations comes but through the heavens. And the 12 portals, I don't care what they do to me. I don't care if they want to put me through That's not tribulation. That helps me grow. You want to strike me down? You want to leave my channel? You want to forget? Hey, man, that helps me grow. You're only doing what the Bible says they're going to do anyway. They hated me, they're going to hate you. And the four quarters of heaven, and these are with completed in all their laws and all their plagues and all their benefactions have I shown to thee, my son Methuselah. Okay. The four corners of the world, the seven mountains and the seven rivers. And the first quarter is called the east because it's the first, and the second is the south because it's most high will descend there. Who's the most high will descend there on top of these mountains, right? And in quite a special sense, uh, he who is blessed forever descend. He who is blessed forever descend. God uses all, even the people that are dead, some of them, like the apostles, they're used probably turn into an angel, and they come through us. Elijah, he came through John. Am I lying? Elijah came through John. Not John the Revelator, the Baptist. Okay? He uses their spirit. Elijah is being used around the whole world. Jesus' spirit being used around the whole world, revelations and prophecy. He is the spirit of prophecy and revelations. And is named the diminishing because they're all luminaries of the heaven, wane and go down. And fourth quarters named the north is divided into three parts. The first of them is for the dwelling of men. And the second contains seas of the waters and of abysses and the forests and the rivers and darkness and the clouds. And the third part contains the garden of righteousness. Three parts of heaven. First one is talking about the evil ones. The second one is where God's people and men, his men, are. The third one is the third okay, let me go over this again. So the first of them is for dwelling of men, and the second of them contains seas of water and the abyss and the forests and rivers and darknesses. So remember how I taught you there's a dark forest and there's a light forest. Which one are you going through at the time? It's called the oh, let me there's a verse I'm trying to think. Although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. What's that valley? That's the darkness forest. There's three heavens. That's it. They're not seven. There's three. There's not 10. This explains it right here. And the darkness and the clouds. And the third part contains the garden of righteousness. No flesh and blood is in there. Enoch died. Enoch, when God took him, died. God evaporated his body so that nobody would defile it and took him. He is one of the witnesses, and we're with him because all of his saints come back with him. Okay? It's easy to see. People go against this and they leave my channel and they go back. Maybe they'll come back someday. I don't know. Lassie, come home. Lost one, come home. So I saw 7 high mountains, higher than the mountains which are on the earth. High mountains, high teachers, the 7 stars above Jesus. Well, those are mountains. Those are the highest mountains on the earth. Dummy. Sorry, guys. And not you, not the people. What's in them? So, which are the earth, and thence comes forth hoarfrost, and days, seasons, and years pass away. That's in the Bible. It's all going to pass away. I saw 7 rivers. I saw 7 rivers on the earth, larger than all the rivers, one of them coming from the west, with 2 crosses on either. What's the 2 crosses? God's people. Pours like water into the great sea. What's us? What do we get from Jesus? Water. So we never thirst and hunger again. That's spirit of the water, a spirit waters, right? Jesus says you'll never hunger and thirst again. Spirit waters. I get help from some of you guys with that stuff too. So if you have any input, you could put it on there. I'm not going up against anybody anymore. That's over for me. Living waters. That's right. Those are the spirits that fill your room. Jesus says, your mansion has many rooms. What are you going to fill them with? Darkness or light? When your mansion and your rooms become full light, your 2 eyes become singular and light, and you're done your job. Your process is over. You go to be with the Father. So, and the remaining 4 come forth on the side and of the north to their own sea. 2 of them, too, the Ethiopian Sea, and the 2 in the Great Sea, and discharge 12 there. And some come into the desert, and 7 great islands I saw the sea, and in the mainland 2 in the mainland, and 5 in the Great Sea. So what happens here on earth is they go through filters. The water goes through filters. Sand is a great filter. So it runs underneath and it gets filtered and cleans. God has a way to clean the earth. Oh, I'm talking about the seas, the oceans, and the rivers. If we were to intoxicate them, He has a system, a filtering system on this earth to filter them and clean them. Is He going to shut those off? Of course He is. The jet stream. There. People say, oh, the jet stream that's caused on the earth. No. No winds are caused here but through the windows of heaven. That's an outright lie. There's no such thing as a jet stream. That's God's jet stream. Window coming through a window, a porthole. And it goes into a bunch of the Hebrew and proves it in a bunch of all the other books here too. I don't read that part to you because it's, I read the words, but these here I don't read. I've went in them and they say the same things. And it says from this book, from Ezra, in the book Ezra. It tells you in the books and in the Bible and in the Hebrew books. I don't go there. Right? I'd be here forever and a day. We're already at 2 hours, guys. So if you want me to remake it, I'll remake a new one. I should, right? Because it should be a segment. This book will be both the teachings. I'm almost done. Okay. It's not a very big book. People, well, what's that to do with your salvation? Everything. It gives you truth. What are we seeking? Truth, aren't we? This enlightens you. You get the truth, you get into more light gets put in you from these books. People don't understand that. Well, those aren't to do with salvation. Yes, they are. They're truths. Truths enlighten us. Let's keep going through this one now. So it has the four names. The first name of Azanjunia and Ebla, and the third Banus. These are names. And the fourth Eri. These are angels. They are the two great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and the size of their circumference is both alike. So when they say a gas giant, oh, we came into another gas giant. It's not a gas giant. That's a lupin angel. Yes, it is. This is a special teaching today. Okay? I'm getting a lot out of it. I've already read this book, okay? But I need sometimes to read a book 3 or 4 times because I need to digest it more. The more you digest it, the more it stays in here. Eat my word, eat my flesh, and drink my blood. This is eating the word. These are angels of God that give these, that wrote these books, okay? People, those books aren't of the Bible. First of all, Bible means books. They build their own God. And they put them in a box and they carry them around. This is how God operates. They become the creator. Okay, so guys, anybody that's interested, let's keep going. There's another story, but I have to remake because it can only go 2 hours long. Okay. And I'm over that. So I'm going to remake instantly. Okay, guys? I'll be back. I'll wait for you. Give your thumbs up. Then I can see if you're there or not. Because they never show me who's all in the room, right? God bless. See you in a minute.